Okay, so NATO is saying about 300,000 NATO troops to be deployed around Ukraine. Now, Russia's already stated that they are in, this is World War III. That has been said by Russia already. They're saying that because NATO isn't fighting Russia head on right now, per se. It is fighting Russia. NATO is in a war with Russia, just not directly. They are fighting Russia through Ukraine right now by supplying Ukraine with weapons and money, equipment. 300,000 troops along or around Ukraine. That is a scary number. That is a very large number. And it's a very alarming number. Don't be surprised if Russia uses a tactical in and or around Ukraine. I say in and or around because you got a couple of wild cards. You got Lithuania, potentially Poland. Now, I'm not saying the first use of a tactical will officially start World War III. I'm not saying that is the case. Because I don't know how NATO is going to respond to that if one is used, especially if one is used on Ukraine, a non-NATO, non-American ally. And that's the thing that we all have to keep remembering is Ukraine is not NATO. Ukraine is not an American ally. So why the United States is dumping so much money, so much resources and equipment in Ukraine is beyond my comprehension. I mean, I understand. I know what's going on. The United States is definitely trying to start World War III with Russia right now by arming Ukraine. That's the only logical thing that I can think of, which is, why this is happening, is the United States wants to start World War III with Russia. Right now, there's a lot of things going on over in Europe right now that should be alarming to a lot of people. There's a lot of stuff going on in the news right now that a lot of people need to be paying attention to. And if World War III does kick off, and again, Russia is already saying that World War III is kicked off. But if Western countries start saying that officially, then we need to be prepared for what's to come on our end. And what should we, as individuals, expect on our end? Well, I almost guarantee you we're going to see fuel rationing. Screw that. Rationing of a lot of different things, but fuel rationing definitely being one. In fact, I saw a video earlier today. I don't know if it was pinball. It might have been. But there is already some gas stations rationing fuel in the United States. Granted, it's only, I think what they showed was 35 gallons And you're going to be hard pressed to find a car or a pickup truck or an SUV or van to take 35 or more than 35 gallons. But when I was driving a roll-off container truck locally, I would go to like the Shell station and get diesel, and that roll-off truck, depending on which one I drove, took anywhere between 60 and 80 gallons of diesel. So I would have not been able to completely fill up my truck at that fuel station. Another thing, rubber. I mean, just go back and look at World War II and possibly Vietnam. Look at World War II and see what was rationed then, because that was a major war. Look and see what was rationed then, and then expect along this, maybe not exactly, but along the same lines, to see rationed. Looking at World War II would give us a generally pretty good idea. Fuel, rubber, metals, anything to go towards war. So, ammunition, certain foods, shit like that. And then maybe some more high-techy stuff, so like computer chips, semiconductor, things of that kind of nature. That stuff might be rationed, or it might be harder to get in the general public because the war machine needs that kind of stuff. So expect rationing on pretty much everything from World War II, but also expect from more high-tech stuff. So get what you need now. And make sure, if you can, to start a garden. Stuff that you're going to eat. Because while World War III may or may not be on North American soil, food is going to be hard to get. Now we have the ability to freeze dry food, dehydrate food. So, we can dehydrate fruit and vegetables, and we can freeze dry fruit and vegetables and send that overseas. Fruit and vegetables were one of the more available things in the United States during World War II, because it was impossible to send it over. Well, I think it was fruit. I think vegetables were able to send over. Anyways, fruit was impossible to send over to Europe at the time because there was no way to get it there without it rotting or spoiling. But now we have freeze dry and dehydrating, and now we can send stuff over to Europe. So make sure you have your gardens, because that might literally save your life.